hours and 5 assaults to cross that bridge. And the only way they got across was because the Confederates ran out of ammunition and they were ordered to retreat. They all retreated except one person, a Lieutenant Colonel William Holmes. He said, "I will defend this bridge or die in the ditch." His men retreated. He advanced toward the bridge. He was shot multiple times at the bridge. 5 soldiers of the 51st New York came across. I know their names. They came across. He died. They stripped him of his clothes. They gathered over his boots. They dragged him across the bridge and buried him along a stone wall. Lieutenant Colonel William Holmes is still MIA. His body has never been found. We went to Burnside Bridge, creating all these scenarios specifically to find Colonel Holmes. And guess what? We know where we did all these scenarios that led up to Colonel Holmes' charge by himself across that bridge and dying. We had 2 women dress up as his relatives from the 1860 census that we know that and the names of those individuals that were in his household. They portrayed women who were in search of him as a lost loved one on the battlefield. They were dressed up, went with lanterns, and said, Colonel Holmes, this is your Aunt Mary," or whatever the name was. I can't remember the name. "This is your Aunt Mary. Are you hurt? Where are you? Where are you?" And we got a voice that said, "I'm over here."
Wow.
And they continued, and they continued, "Here, we know where he was." We did it 3 different times with 3 different groups of women on 3 different occasions, 6 months apart. So, and every time, same base, same location. We know where he is. What I wanted to do then was to get ground penetrating radar and go over that location, that space that said here, and see if there was a disturbance there that might indicate a burial. Then do an actual excavation and hopefully unearth Lieutenant Colonel William Holmes, do a military burial, and send him back home to Georgia, where there is a grave site with an empty grave in it. That's his grave, but he's not in it because he's still at Antietam. We were denied going back because of all the problems of ghost hunters going there and fooling around, causing disturbances. So we were denied access. But originally, the park ranger was with us. He was going to give us permission to get the ground penetrating radar, but he changed his mind.
You know, and that's a shame.
Really, all that work was for nothing, and we think we located where he is. He's still there.
Wow, that's amazing. And John, I love listening to you, but I do want to let Brandon.
No, Brandon, yeah, I
don't want to interrupt John. I know better than that.
Yo, no, and you know what? The one thing.
Yeah, he knows how I'm talking.
You know what, John? It's the passion. You know, and I'm not just saying this to blow smoke up your ass, but for years I've been saying, if I could ever get to sit one day and watch John Sabol work, that'd be like an amazing part of me. I'm a big history buff. So is Chris, and I love the way that you explained, you know, when you do this, you're doing it in layers. So it is just like an excavation and different layers. And Selma Mansion's going to be a great place for you because it crosses so many genres, so many spans of time, from Revolutionary War all the way to, you know, to the present. And had a tremendous impact not only on Norristown itself, but on the formation of what's now the United States, and then continued, you know, through with the.
I mean, if we go through with this, it's going to require a big commitment on the part of those who want to participate. I mean, a serious commitment.
I'm sure we can get those individuals to do that.
Okay.
So, Brandon, I appreciate you joining us tonight as well.
Well, sure, thanks.
And give everybody a little bit of background about who you are and what you do.
Oh, sure. First off, I will say I have been part of John's excavations, and they are a lot different than what we see on TV. You get a lot more history. You feel like you're more involved in the environment and what's going on. So, and I like the different perspective on it. you're not just walking into a place with an EMF meter and a ghost box. You're actually like you're participating in different levels, or when it comes to that. But so who am I? I'm Brandon MASSULLO. I'm a clinical therapist. I'm also a parapsychologist, and I kind of born and raised here in Northeast Ohio. I have a graduate degree in clinical counseling from the University of Toledo, and I studied psychological research methods at the University of Edinburgh in Scotland. So I studied parapsychology over there in Scotland. My research has been cited in some journal articles and mainstream books, but I did a lot of my stuff on environmental sensitivity and paranormal experiences. So what that is there's a subset of the population that's really sensitive to the environment. It really has nothing to do with psychic sensitivity, just more in tune with the environment. So these people tend to have more allergies, they have fibromyalgia, their smells overwhelm them, so they're just more in tune with the environment, and they actually have way more paranormal experiences than the normal person. So with this correlation that was going on, I did a lot of research in that over in Scotland, specifically the Mary King's Close. And then after I was over there doing my research, I came back here to the States, and then but the book came out in October. It's called The Ghost Studies, New Perspectives on the Origins of Paranormal Experiences. So what it is it's kind of like a mix of a lot of things, the book. But basically it just gives you new perspectives and insights in the cause of ghostly encounters. You know, you go over all kinds of different things in the book, like how electricity and energy play a role in it. There's a lot on there about consciousness, the role of psychology, psychology, emotions, trauma, the role of bioenergetics when it comes to ghostly phenomenon, and entanglement. So there's all kinds of different perspectives on ghostly encounters in the book. Not just an earthbound spirit is coming down to talk to you. There's different ways to look at it. And that's really what the book is in a nutshell. And, you know, just like John thinks a little outside the box, my stuff is outside the box as well. And I think when you look at ghostly phenomenon, I think it's important to look at, you know, it's such a complex process that it's probably just not one thing. It's not just an earthbound spirit. It's just not psychokinesis. It's just not this. It's probably a mixture of a lot of things. And I think that's an important thing when you look at any sort of ghostly encounter, not to be just narrow-minded and it's only one thing.
Let me ask you a question. When you get into these ghostly encounters, can you be affected? Can anyone be affected by that type of an experience?
What do you mean by affected? Just scared?
Well, I mean, you talked about several different things, energies, different things. I mean, if you and I walked into a place, and is it the place that's going to give us those type of reactions and that type of behavioral? I guess what I'm trying to say is, will a place affect your behavior?
I think it's a mixture of both. I think it's a mixture of the environment and it's the individual differences or the neurobiological makeup of the person. I think there are people who are more prone, so who are more sensitive to the environment around them, and they're probably going to be more likely to pick up on something in a location than maybe somebody else.
Okay.
But I also think the location plays a big role in it as well. So it's a mixture of both. So if the location has a lot of imprints, if you want to say that, and you have a person who's really sensitive to picking things up in the environment, I think if you mix those two together, you're probably more likely to get a paranormal or ghostly encounter.
Okay. And I agree with that. I mean, our team just came back from an investigation. We spent 5 days in a place that definitely left an impression on each and every one of us that were there, and it affected the house. The house affected each individual way differently.
Yeah,
and it was a multi-layered, area.
And then some people could go in there and probably not experience anything.
Exactly.
it's different for everybody.
Exactly. What got you into the paranormal, or into doing this type of study work?
I don't have a cool story, unfortunately. I didn't have any haunting experiences where I grew up. I didn't grow up in a haunted house or anything like that. I just picked up a book on parapsychology when I was about probably 14, 15 years old, and I just really liked it. So I read all about parapsychology, which is the study of paranormal phenomenon, like ESP, psychokinesis, ghost, survival hypothesis. So I started reading on parapsychology. I read every book in the library. Then I ended up going to school for psychology. And then at some point I'm like, yeah, I think I'm going to go a little further. So that's when I went to Scotland and studied parapsychology. So it was more of an interest, like trying to find answers and read about these ghostly phenomena and all this cool stuff. Not so much an experience that kind of got me in the paranormal field.
Well, this is why I was looking forward to having you and John both on, because my experience in the paranormal. I didn't grow up in a haunted house. I grew up in the northeast of Pennsylvania, coal cracking area, and did a lot of explorations on my own when I was a kid. Through those old abandoned mine shacks and got me interested in the history aspect of the area that I grew up in, and then moved on to in school. Every Friday we would get the Scholastic book, and it was on ESP and psychokinesis, and you could all these great books were available. So it was always I always felt that there had to be more. And how can you put the two together? And Chris and I and our team definitely utilize. We are like I said, we have a really interesting group of individuals that we investigate with and travel with. And it's so many, and you can't just say, an EMF detector, and that's what's going to prove that there's a haunting. There's so much more. There's so many more layers to it, and so having you and talking about this psychological side of things, and not only just the psychological side of the individuals that are living in the house, but the psychological aspect of who had lived in the house. Because I believe there's a direct correlation that if you were an asshole in life, you're an asshole in death, and that's the type of demeanor you're going to have. That's your personality, and what people will call malevolent energy or demon or all these other things is just somebody who was just maybe not a nice person.
Yeah, it could be. If you look at this, what happens after we die, there's this belief that it's just our consciousness sort of is in the environment somewhere. So our consciousness is basically who we are. That's our emotions and our personality. So it's just a snapshot of who we are as a person. So if they are an asshole, then that's probably accurate, I would imagine.
Just my belief.
Yeah.
Just my opinion. But how did you said you and John have worked together? So I'm going to ask this question first to you, Brandon. How is it to work with John?
It's intense, I tell you that much. Like you said before, he's pretty passionate about everything. When he does these scenarios, he really gets into it. And breaking down the history, he knows every. We were at the Omni in Bedford Springs, and he knew about every room, what was happening in every room, the history of every room, conversations that occurred in that room, 100 years ago. And it's the intensity and the passion is amazing with John. And I think everyone picks up on that, and they get excited about it. And not only excited about the history, but excited about the scenarios, and excited about replaying this and hoping that something gets picked up on the recordings. So it's an amazing experience, and like I said before, it's just different than everything else. I get invited sometimes to go to paranormal investigations, and there's the formula that really happens. You walk in, you have your EMF, you put your K2 down, you turn on your recorders, you ask questions, you put a spirit box out, you listen. You know what I'm saying? So there's a formula to it. But John's a lot different than that. every time we go someplace, it's different every time.
How does what you do